Hi, this is Bastiaan, and this is the annotation of a game against the 2300 engine called Rotor 0.2. It's a very short game where I'm playing black. So the game starts out with knight to f3. I play f5, e3, knight to f6, and d4. So we're seeing a variation on the Dutch defense, where by transposition black plays f5, whereas white plays d4. I play e6, and in some situations it is possible for black to play the bird system with colors reversed against the d4 pawn opening, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So if you ever saw one of my bird videos, or if you're familiar with the bird opening, we can see the same thing happening here in a mirror image. White plays bishop to d3, b6, getting ready to fianchetto. White castles, bishop to b7, knight to c3. And as is typical in the bird opening, this bishop serves no real purpose, and we would like to exchange it. So bishop to b4, trying to trade off for the knight. It's always good if white wastes a move with a3, because we are going to exchange anyways. But white plays the smarter bishop to d2 in order to prevent doubling the pawns. So I take, white recaptures, I castle. Bishop to b4, attacking the rook. So there are a few options. I can move the rook, or play d4 or c5. But I'm planning to do a rook lift later on in the game. So d6 is played. We now see that the e6 square is weak. White attacks it immediately with knight to g5. Queen to e8 not only prevents that attack, but it puts the queen onto the diagonal. Also on g6 we can gain tempo, counterattacking the knight. Rook to c1, perhaps aiming for a c-pawn break later on. Queen to g6, and although it's possible for white to make a knight outpost, so I cannot recapture with the queen, the knight is going to be chased away anyways after h6, so he may as well retreat now, instead of weakening his king side. White plays knight to f3. I play knight to e4, classical development with the knight outpost, with double protection. Bishop to a3. And this looks like a passive move, but actually it's very hard for white to find a winning move here. If we check with Houdini, Houdini thinks retreating the bishop to e1 is best. So once again, very difficult to find a good move. White plays bishop to a3. I continue with the rook lift. White now plays queen to e1, slightly improving his position, being able to use the diagonal for the queen. And now the game is basically over, because I play knight to d2. This not only attacks rook and knight, it also activates my powerful bishop on b7. So it looks like white can just recapture with the queen. Let's see what else he can try. If he tries knight takes knight, we have a quick mate with queen takes pawn on g2. So queen recaptures. It looks like I lost my knight, but after bishop takes knight, we can see that the bishop cannot be recaptured because of the check. I'm threatening a mate on g2, so white plays g3. So basically I haven't gained any material at all, so 2 minor pieces have been exchanged, but I have made white create weakness by playing G3. Now there's a hole on H3, and that's all I need to continue an attack and threaten with mate. So Queen to H5, threatening to play H3 with a mate. Now we have to play H5. H6 isn't good enough, because then white can play H4 and it will take 2 moves to go to G4. So that's inaccurate. Queen to H5. Getting ready to jump to G4 if H4 is played. So H4 is played. There's not much for defense for white. So now I could already play G4. That's perfectly reasonable to continue the attack. I play Rook to G6 instead, which also works, threatening to take the pawn on H4, which cannot be recaptured because of the discovered check. White protects the pawn. Now Rook to G4 instead of Queen to G4, again threatening the weak pawn on H4. Now if, say, Rook to B1 is played, a random move, I can grab the pawn. Then if pawn recaptures, we get a check and a mate. Otherwise, if king moves, mate immediately with Rook to H1. So a random move cannot be played. So what was played? Bishop takes F5, a desperation move. I could recapture the bishop immediately, but I go for the check. Pawn recaptures, and now the bishop is recaptured on F5. Otherwise it can block the check. Bishop to B4, there's nothing left for white. Now the obvious mate is queen takes pawn check, king to G1, and queen to H1 mate. But I play something different. I play queen to G4, looking for the mate on G2. And of course the rook cannot step into the defense, because if rook to G1, we get queen takes pawn on H4 checkmate. So white plays bishop takes D6. Finally queen to G2 checkmate at move 22. So that's a nice example of using white system with the black pieces. I hope you enjoyed watching this variation of the Dutch defense and that it gave you some ideas. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and have a great evening.